Weather is finally starting to come in despite my rolled up sleeves, and for me, fall and winter was always that time where it was right after the big album releases and started to get a lot of really quality mixtapes and remix albums and all that kind of stuff. You have things like Chopped and Screwed coming out of Texas. You got Gangsta Grills. So I wanted to pose to the boys today the question: what is a mixtape to you? What does that represent? What does it mean for the hip hop community? And what's your favorite? Come on, let's head to the low end and check it out. Welcome back to the low end, your weekly supply drop for all the latest news and discussion on hip hop culture. As always, it's Matthew back after a short little break with my two guys, Marius and Ron. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just happy to be back.
That's right. Well, we got a really good episode for y'all today because I want to talk something that's really near and dear to me as a hip hop fan. I don't know about y'all. Personally, I enjoy it, and that is mixtapes. For me, mixtapes represent the true, unfiltered art of hip hop. And I gotta get poetic. I have to be poetic because for me it's you have no money constraints usually. You have no label obligation.
Right.
So you really get to see through a mixtape who that artist really is. And sometimes you get way on the artistic spectrum. You get Friends of the People, Lupe Fiasco, or you get the mixtapes about nothing from Wale. Then you get way on the other side with Gangsta Grills. So
Wow. Took it way, man.
I'm telling you. So I want to ask, what was the first mixtape that you remember now? Down from the corner store by the barber shop.
You know what, man? And I really in middle school I really didn't mess with the mixtape. It was just straight the album. But when I got to high school, man, Lil Wayne was the shit. I just gonna be like that. Lil Wayne was the shit, man. So I remember just downloading every drought. The droughts were they were great, man. The Sky's the Limit is probably my favorite song. I even went off on that song. That had to be the best song I ever heard at that time. I was like, oh my god.
Man. Wasn't that a 5-minute song? Just rapping the rap. See, that was a Lil Wayne I knew. Actually, the funny thing is, I didn't really download it because I remember mixtapes used to cost money back in clothing stores, barbershops, corner stores, and all that for $8 a pop. And back then, Gangsta Grills was huge at the minute. The biggest rappers at the time were releasing mixtapes like that, Young Jeezy and Lil Wayne. I think the first mixtape I was exposed myself to was either Dedication 2 or the Can't Man and Snowman. Dedication 2, back when Lil Wayne was big, his mixtape stuff was that's what catapulted him to being where he is now. If it wasn't the album, because after the Carter 2, it was definitely just a whole string of mixtapes and features. And so that was probably the first mixtape I remember
It showed us how lyrical he could be. You know what I'm saying? How creative he could be.
Yeah.
Tell me somebody. This is the best line I ever heard. At the time, I was he said, even deaf bitches say hi to me. She told a blind bitch, she said, I gotta see. So I'm whoa, you know what I'm saying? He just made up clever bars to make me, and go along with the story. And I'm damn, that's hard. And it's a lot of different artists that did that, like you said, Gucci Mane, Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne, of course. It was just a lot of different artists that just branched out and showed us who they really are.
Right. Yeah. And I think when they released mixtapes, that was basically them feeding the streets where they were coming from. You know what I'm saying? It was all about trying to get that fan base that they kind of had by just releasing this mixtape that people could get at corner stores, barbershops, and all that kind of stuff. So that was interesting because I remember T.I., when he got dropped from Arista Records for his first album, he didn't give up. He started releasing, mixtapes of his own. 2002, he started releasing, I forgot what the title was, but he definitely just started branching out. He decided that, let me feed my people first, and then, I get out there. You know what I'm saying? So that was basically pretty much sell yourself as a artist.
Also, man, I don't want to leave out Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti, cocaine music, come on now. M-Town stand up. Oh, you saying no? First of all, Yo Gotti was going off, man. He the king of Memphis. I give him to him. Like he's going out. I ain't gonna say 3 6 Mafia because they fell out completely. But they got the Grammy. So they got a little portion in there, but Yo Gotti has really been, you know, Yo Gotti has really been doing his thing, man. Shout out to Yo Gotti. But cocaine music, that's forever gonna be a change. So
now, let me ask you this, because it was about, I want to say maybe 05, 06, where you started to see like a whole lot of bleed from like mixtapes into like regular albums, because that was about the time. Gangsta Grillz, the album was like,
yeah,
06, 07.
It was around 06, 07.
yeah.
You know,
They dominated name or something like that.
were you ever big into that notion of like, I'm gonna get the album version of a mixtape? Because even now you got artists like Drake. His first official like release was just re-release of a mixtape.
Right.
So like, were you ever big into that kind of, I'm gonna go buy the mixtape thing? Like, I'm gonna go to like FYE or Tower Records at the time and buy the mixtape? Or was it strictly like, I'm gonna get it from the blog or the download?
It's all about the atmosphere for me. Like, you know, getting it from the block made it so much better. Cause you get to hear what everybody's saying about it. Like, yeah, man, this mixtape is dope. Like, you need to buy this because he said this, and this, and this, and that. And he beefing with this, and this, and this, and that. So, I mean, that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the atmosphere. I like, you know, and plus, I mean, I'm not down with buying mixtapes. I mean, it's a mixtape.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be free to the people. It's something that, like, you know, they introduce themselves to me.
Mm-hmm.
So me buying it's like, you know. So I'm really not into buying mixtape. I'm just gonna be real. No buying mixtape. That low.
Have you ever hit a mixtape that was just like, awful? Just like you just like, I immediately regret everything about this
You
decision.
mean of all time, like now?
Of all time?
Now there's just a whole stream.
A whole lot of
mixtapes now.
Pink Flame by Lil B. Trash. No,
It sounds like Lil B with you.
Look,
Blue Flame. Blue Flame was definitely tough.
No, I give you a real good example. The very first mixtape that I remember, and it was, it's like you said, I bought the motherfucker.
You bought it.
It was some, and I didn't buy it from a store. I bought it from a dude.
yeah.
He'd come around. It was in Nashville. It was Killer Crow. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He was selling these mixtapes. It was a Nelly mixtape, and it was strictly like a mix of like. It was basically a Nelly mixtape, and then like every 3 or 4 songs, it would be like, "Yo, this your boy DJ such and such," and he would. It was like he had one of those little $20 Walmart keyboards with the microphone in it, and he was just screaming into the microphone. It was like,
Just playing Nelly records.
yeah, it was terrible. There was like no remixing, no nothing. It was the worst thing I've ever like seen.
Well, what are you doing by anything?
Look, okay, I was big into Nelly. Exactly.
You were big in that Nelly.
Same lunatics, man.
Yeah, it was hot back in the day.
Nelly and Gibb and the rest of them, I don't remember. Spuds.
Murphy Lee.
Beverly Lee.
Put the hook on me.
I don't need no hook for this beat. Stupid.
Yeah, it was the worst. But on the same token, it was, I think maybe 2 years back, this DJ from Nashville, DJ Wicked, the Instigator, he did, it was a little mixtape EP, and it was Big Boy's first solo record, mixed up with some Black Keys songs from Brothers, because they had both won Grammys. And this was like 4 or 5 days before Christmas. Dropped it. It seemed like it blew up like instantaneously. It was on Billboard's front page. It was on Noisy's front page. The dude had started like touring now, and I still will rock it from time to time, because you get DJs that are like super duper talented with mixing it up, making sure that the songs go together. And Big Boy even like shouted it out on talking about, yo, my Grammy performance, I'm gonna see Black Keys want to do something. And unfortunately nothing ever happened. But this is what I mean when you get like mixtapes that are so just 100% dope. Like that should have cost money.
Yeah,
I would not have been mad at all that it cost money.
Right. You know, recent mixtapes that I would have paid money for, Overly Dedicated, Kendrick Lamar, Joey Badass, 1999.
That always sounded like an album.
Yeah, these mixtapes are starting more like albums. You know what I'm saying? It's just starting to sound like albums. So sometimes they put out a little bit too much, and sometimes they put not enough out. So you gotta have that balance. And I don't know if anybody has mastered just putting that balance out just yet, because I feel like he put a lot into it. Could have been an album. And then you got Wale. You know what I'm saying? A couple of his mixtapes could have been an album. So I don't know if anybody has that mixture just yet, but I'm really loving the mixtape, you know what I'm saying, era, because that's what I tend to go to.
Yeah.
You know, so
free, man.
Free,
you can't deny free music. And I mean, that's exactly how you and I, nothing, man. That's exactly how we managed to get on any of these rappers, is the fact that they drop free mixtapes.
True.
They put themselves out there, they release the mixtape, we find it awesome. Next thing you know, we're like, yo, when you gonna release an album? I just might buy that, you know what I'm saying? So mixtapes have been so impactful. And I mean, the funny thing is, they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They started out as something that, was literally on a tape where you would put on the stereo, put some music on there, sell it to your friends. And now it's just become something that, format for rappers to just go ahead and put their creative skills into the test.
Let me tell y'all a couple rappers that y'all can keep y'all shit. Keep your shit. I don't want to hear your shit. Keep that shit. Lil B, fuck you. I don't want to hear. I'm sorry.
I really hope Bass got a fucking bitch.
Bruh, I ain't got no really. So fuck Lil B. Alright, but other than that, man,
How dare you disrespect the Bass guy?
it's just different guys that, you know what, I don't want to hear from y'all because y'all don't put out anything good. Gucci Man, you fell out too. You in there too. Kicking, yeah, you in that bunch. But all the other folks, I want y'all to keep on putting out big like I want to hear more from Jay Electronic. I want to hear more from Childish Gambino.
Never drop a mixtape.
I don't
know if I can co-sign on that. But
Childish Gambino, hey, I support you. I ain't one of those little basic fans that you got, because some of this stuff you put out is trash. Because Royalty, I ain't like it. But Cul-de-sac was pretty good. So just keep on working, man. We want to see more
Let me get another cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Camp was good too.
That's actually how I got on Childish Gambino. Was that mixtape?
Yeah, Cul-de-sac. It was pretty great. Freaks and Geeks. That was a good song. So we need to hear more stuff from you. Who else? Joey Badass. Now I know you just put out a new mixtape. That mixtape wasn't as good as 1999. I need another. I didn't feel it. I didn't really feel it. I didn't feel it.
I would really like 1999 Summer Nights. Yeah. But, I do feel like Summer Nights I did see some growth with that. The beats were insane, man. But yeah, man, Joey Badass, just keep on at it. You're young, and just grow with the music.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tell you what's actually been I've been really big into mashups lately.
Great album.
The Grey album was a great album. But you see a lot of those floating around, and I tell you what's really interesting. You see, you see a lot of artists that aren't traditional in hip hop doing that, and this is me admitting some on camera, so y'all forgive me for this.
Go ahead.
There was a time when I was, and even still a little bit, there was a time when I was real big into Linkin Park. They did that Reanimation album, where it was Linkin Park, it was the Executioners, like Black Thought from the Roots was on there. They've got another one coming out, and Pusha T is on it, actually. So I'm like super duper excited for that one. But for me, it's really fun to see like up and coming producers and DJs take something existing and like turn it into something totally new. That's why I like mashups. That's why I was really feeling like Chopped and Screwed mixtapes come in there. That had a couple of hits come out, Chopped and Screwed, UGK of course, things like that. So that's what I'm feeling right now. So real quick, favorite mixtape all time.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, you on the clock. You got to pick.
Favorite mixtape of all time.
That is hard. There are so many mixtapes that were released
Lately or
all time.
all time.
I'll tell you my favorite mixtape all time. What about that?
yeah, I
What
want to say that, but
I want to say my favorite of all time. Actually, I like Back to the Future more than the project Wale did with Ninth Wonder. I like that more about Nothing. I can't even say it's favorite. See, there's just so many, man.
You know what? I'm gonna go on and say it. I don't have a favorite mixtape because all the mixtapes are, you know what I'm saying, pretty much the same. Well, not the same, but I'm just, you know, scoping them out just to see who's better, who, you know, has this type of flow. You know what I'm saying? I'm just listening to mixtapes for music. So I don't know if I have a favorite. But I give shout outs. I give shout out to Big Crit.
Carlos Heroes definitely.
I give shout outs to Spitter, Currency. I give shout outs to Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz did have some time.
Yeah, pretty good mixtape. So
Pushing Orange Juice.
Yeah,
That was good.
so I'm just giving shout outs. You know, I really don't have a favorite, but forget Lil B.
That's what's up. Well, guys, we'll be back next week. We're gonna have a whole lot more to talk about. You know, the hip hop world is constantly spinning, and you need to get down to the base of it. Come back to the low end. Y'all take it easy.